Kingston bust down Zlatan Ashake for this game too. With that, welcome you to Kick Off Sports Show. My name is OLADAPO OKUNUBI, aka Young Striker 9. Well, it's a Friday morning and it is cool, not cold, here in the city of Ibadan. We'll tell you more about that game too, where it was more of maybe it's going to a one-sided final in the Eastern Conference. Well, we'll talk more about that, and we'll look at updates coming from the world of tennis, look at what is happening in the world of football. We'll look at as we count down to Euro 2024. Remember, we also have FA Cup final also going down. Well, for the team Bayer Leverkusen, this team is also putting everything in place to all forget what happened to them in the final of the Europa League. Now remember, they'll be playing the DFB Cup also final tomorrow. Maybe they can have a focus and come back to winning ways. All right, remember, we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, Solutions 939 FM. Click like, subscribe, share buttons. Let's go. Well, the victory for Boston Celtics against Indiana Pacers came in a game to back-to-back victories in that series. 126 points to 110 points was the scoreline for Boston Celtics to dominate this particular final series in the Eastern Conference. And for that, it is now Boston Celtics leading 2-0. Let's see what happens in the game 3 if the Pacers can come back and pace out the ball at the pace out the Boston Celtics. Now moving on the show this morning as we look at more updates from the world of sports, and we talk tennis where world number 1 Novak Djokovic defeated Thailand great sport to advance to the semi-finals of the Geneva Open on Thursday. Djokovic accepted a wildcard to the ATP 250 tournament in the hope of building momentum for the French Open, which starts on Sunday. The 37-year-old claimed 7-5-6-1 victory against the Dutch opponent and will face Jacques famous Markak in the last 4. Well, more qualifier games are going down. Talking about the French Open ahead of the start day. But let's look at other games going down at different centers. For the Geneva Open, games going down today. I told you earlier, Novak Djokovic will take on Famous Makak, and that'll be going down 1:30 p.m. today as Casper Ruud will take on Flavio Cobolli. Looking at the Leona Open ATP 250, famous Echeverry will take on Luciano Darderi, and Giovanni Pecce batters Alexander Bublik. For Strasbourg Internet Knox WTA 500, Marketa Vondrousova will be up against Alina Kalnina, and that game is going down the next 24 minutes. For the La Lamaya GP SAR La Prince WTA 250, Peyton Stearns will take on Victoria Tomova as Maya Sharif batters Kamila Rakimova in that one. There's also updates coming from Germany this morning where we have the tournament, the Augsburg ATP Challenger. Timofey Skatov will take on Daniel Masser, and Elma Moller against Ricardo Bonadio. Live updates coming from Georgia this morning, and that is the battle. Live updates: Alexandre Bakshi is up against Felipe Sekulic, but Bakshi won the first set 7-6 and is currently leading the second set 5-4 as Robin Bertrand is up against Paul Job. Benja lost the first set 3-6, won the second set 6-3, and currently leading the third set against Jab 4-1. Okay, now away from that, and let's talk about Rafael Nadal this morning, a man who will start his French Open return and expected farewell to the tournament. He has dominated with a first round match against German fourth seed Alexander Zverev. People are not happy with that, but hey, it is more of tournament. Spain's Nadal, who has won the men's title on a record 14 occasions, plans to retire later this year. Zverev, 26, is one of the favorites for the title and tuned up by winning the Italian Open last week. Britain's Andy Murray has also indicated he will call it a day in the coming months and start against fellow veteran Stan Wawrinka. I mean, talking about all these fixtures, a lot of people are not happy about that, right? But that is what brings the beauty of tournament. All right, now let's go straight to Formula One. Remember, it's also going down in front. That's the Monaco Grand Prix. The drivers are talking, and we get more on the show this morning. Max Verstappen says this weekend's Monaco Grand Prix will be one of the most difficult races for his Red Bull team. McLaren Lando Norris has emerged as a major threat to the world champion in the past two events. The Briton taking his maiden win in Miami and finishing a close second in Imola on Sunday. Verstappen won in Monaco last year, but picked up Ferrari and McLaren as two teams to watch out for. Now, let's listen to some of the drivers who will be in contention for this weekend's tournament right there in Monaco.
Looking at the track there, it's probably not going to be our best track, just because our car normally struggles a bit over bumps and curbs. We did work on it a bit compared to last year. I think so far on most of the tracks that we've been to, our low-speed performance has improved a little bit. But I don't think this is going to be a very easy weekend. But I think Monaco never is very straightforward, even when you are supposed, to have the best car. Monaco is a very tricky track to get everything to work, get the tires to work. In a quali lap, for example, red flags. There's always a lot of disruption. And a lot of things can go right, but also a lot of things can go wrong.
Obviously, it's always a very special feeling, the Monaco week. I think it is for all the drivers, but for me specifically, having grown up here, is extra special. So I'm really looking forward to it. We've always been competitive here, so I hope it will be just the same this weekend. However, the finality of the weekend haven't ever been the one I wanted, which we have worked a lot. We've done our preparation in the best possible way, and I hope that this weekend will be the good one.
We're going to see great drives from drivers, great performances from teams, and I think now everyone is under pressure, to deliver, not just Red Bull, which is something I found really, really good. I don't think it's been like this for years, that you come to a Grand Prix and there is maybe four teams that have a chance of victory.
There's certain things with the balance of the car that you require maybe a little bit more from, a bit more of a predictable car, but at the same time when you get to Q3, maybe you don't want that. You want that car that's a little bit more on edge, a little bit more risky, but delivers a bit more lap time if you put it together. So a lot of it's about driver preference and that kind of thing, and you learn through the weekend in the sessions what you want from the car and what the appropriate level of risk is.
Monaco is such a special weekend.
So the drivers speaking ahead of this weekend's Grand Prix in Monaco. Well, I'm not a fan of Ferrari. I'm a Mercedes fan, but it's like I'm thinking the other way this morning. you've got the money, you can do Ferrari, right? But hey, now before moving away from that, let's also let you know that Ferrari is second on the team's standings with 212 points. Jamie Alade with Ferrari there. Now, let's also looking at the team currently leading. That is Red Bull. McLaren is third with 154 points. My team, Mercedes, is fourth with 79 points. Not that Mercedes doesn't have the money, but more changes are expected. But remember, Lewis Hamilton will be saying goodbyes, right? Now let's go straight as we count down to Olympics. Counting down to Olympics, the French law enforcement officers arrested someone who has been planning and who was planning a violent action during the Paris Olympic torch relay in Bordeaux. That's according to a report gotten from the Interior Ministry. That statement was written on the X handle of Gerald Darmanin. Now, according to reports, prosecutors began an investigation after the person made a social media post that referenced a 2014 mass shooting in Isla Vista, California, in which 6 people were killed. Now, the suspect admitted to the court in Bordeaux that he had considered an act with no specific location. The torch relay started in the morning and is scheduled to end around 7:30 p.m. local time, according to a report. And the Olympics will be held from July 26 to August 11. More troubles also happening right there. And France, not really big trouble in France, but countries around France and a particular island was also, in the news where the French President Emmanuel Macron was there to also announce the presence of police officers. France President Emmanuel Macron, after viewing areas devastated by deadly riots triggered by contested electoral reforms at the French-ruled Pacific Island, said police reinforcement in New Caledonia will stay as long as needed, even till the period when the Olympics will be happening. Now, talking about Olympics more as we count down, and it is more of the women's football. Emma Hayes has finally arrived, and the United States women's national team's new head coach faces a formidable task. She has 2 months to prepare the team to win an Olympic gold medal. Winning, as she knows, is a long-time standard for the United States women's national team. But on Thursday, during a small media roundtable with newsmen at the National Women's Soccer League's office in Manhattan, Hayes stressed the importance of processes and performances. Are we saying don't expect more from this woman going to the Olympics? Let's go on a break, and when we come back, we talk football. Something happening in the city of Ibadan. We'll tell you more.
Mr. Teacher, please, what happens when children come to school? How is it that they leave home very neat and return looking so different?
Non-stop action, ma. All the learning and sports burn energy. So those sweat stains, torn uniforms, and dirty shoes, they show that your kid has been very active.
Now, wow.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them the new and improved Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
Ibikíbi tó àṣà mọ́ pa wá pẹ̀lú ẹ. Ìwọ ló ló ní pàdé FCMB wà fún ẹ. Ìwọ ló ló ní ọ̀la ti dájú. Jọ̀wọ́ má ṣọ̀lẹ pẹ̀lú FCMB. Ìwọ ló ló ní ọ̀la ti dájú. Jọ̀wọ́ má ṣọ̀lẹ. Ọ̀nà bàbá wọn tá tán síbẹ̀ ó pàdé o. Jọ̀wọ́ má ṣọ̀lẹ. Dúró tán. FCMB.
FCMB,
èmi àti pánkì mi.
So we are in this filling station over 18 hours now. No way going back, no way going front.
When it comes to solar power solutions, Novel Solar is a trusted brand. Solar engines from Novel Solar continues to put smiles on the face of their customers. With solar power, you have no reason to worry about fuel price or subsidy removal. You will no longer have to suffer noise from generators. We have different solar products and all you will need for solar installations, including solar panels, inverters, batteries, solar kit, solar generators, solar borehole system, solar street light, solar fans, and solar lighting bulbs. My people, it's time to act fast and escape the high cost of petrol. We're located at Akinjide Plaza, opposite Adamasingba Stadium, Ekotedo, Ibadan. Embrace solar power and stop complaining about inadequate power supply. Call 0811-799-8800, 0811-799-8800. With high cost of fuel, Nova Solar is the way to go.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Welcome back to Kiko Sports Show live on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9 FM here in the city of Ibadan. Yes, a lot of people have missed the game of Nigeria Premier Football League, but the league game will be back this weekend as teams are already focusing on how to pick points, while some are already planning to see how they will not draw points either on the road or away. It's going to be a derby between Abia Warriors and Eyimba International this weekend, as we have Enugu Rangers taking on Bayelsa United, all in the match day 33. Gombe United will take on Heartland FC of Owerri. Kano Pillars will take on Doma United. Katsina United hosting Shooting Stars Sports Club of Ibadan. Shooting Stars is going into this one following the victory they had against Lobi in the FA Cup. And we're going on the road at the moment. And Kwara United will take on Ramo Stars. Lobi Stars hosts Aqua United. Niger Tornadoes will be up against Plateau United, while Rivers United hosts Sporting Lagos. Bendel Insurance will be on the road in Akure when they take on Sunshine Stars. Well, remember, match day 34, something different will be happening at different home grounds, the same as the Shooting Stars at the Lagos Salami Sports Complex. Well, for those of you who love the game of football and you love to have fun, something better is happening for the Fan Fest of Shooting Stars as the fans are getting ready. Well, powered by Goldberg, 3SC presented the Fan Fest, and the biggest and most electrifying football fan party in Nigeria is going to be on Sunday, June 2. Yes, that's the match day 34 at the Gate 1 Car Park, Lagos Salami Stadium, for an unforgettable experience before and after the match between 3SC and Abia Warriors. Well, fans of Shooting Stars, remember we were talking about artists that always come repping. But this time, 3 performances by Saido Shukwa. Yes, DJ B again. CDQ will be on ground. MC Bash to entertain fans. Well, a lot to be going down there at the Lagos Salami Sports Complex. Now, it is more of packaging and what will be happening. You know how to freestyle for entertaining football. You know how to juggle ball using your skills, using your legs, head, and all parts of your body to win big. There's also going to be PS5 tournament for computer game football enthusiasts to compete and win cash prizes and other great prizes. Well, you want to register. Registration for the Freestyle Football Challenge and PS5 tournament opens at 12 noon on Sunday, June 2. So, for those who love going to the stadium very late, hey, you just have to get there very early. Go to the Gate 1 car park of Lagos Salami Stadium. You don't have to miss the Fan Fest of the happening at the Lagos Salami Stadium on Sunday, June 2 at the Gate 1 car park, Lagos Salami Stadium. Come around to share the Shooting Stars to victory and experience the fan party. It is going to be the match day 34, where Shooting Stars will be taking on their opponent, Abia Warriors. And guess what? A man who will also be turning up.
Never carry over. Kakakopa mi layo, agba koba. Trench boys, high. Mapa mi na on she kai. Obagiri no be my. Mohamed Ali, shalai.
Okay, so City Q there with the Badwell, one of the artists that will be performing the match day 34 home game of Shooting Stars against the Abia Warriors. Now let's count down to Euro 2024.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
We got our secrets hidden inside our bones. Starlight that bleeds when all of the lights come on. It's a beautiful miracle how you lift me up when I feel low. Beautiful, everglow. Now we're shining like a sea of gold. Yeah, we're on fire tonight, like a million diamonds in the sky, and we're lost in all the lights. Here together, we're on fire tonight. We're on fire.
Ladies of One Republic, Lunai Fire. That is the official song for Euro 2024. Now let's go straight to what is happening in Italy. Arsenal midfielder Jorginho and Tottenham goalkeeper Guillermo Vicario have been named in Italy's provisional 30-man squad for Euro 2024. Juventus midfielder Manuel Locatelli, Lazio striker Ciro Immobile, and midfielder Marco Verratti, who joined Qatari side Al Arabi from PSG last September, also miss out. Italy coach Luciano Spalletti has not called up Verratti since replacing Roberto Mancini in August 2023. Italy are the defending champions, having defeated England in the final of the previous tournament under Mancini, although they failed to qualify for the 2022 World Cup. Spalletti has also included Nicolo Fagioli in the initial squad, with Juventus midfielder only recently returning to action following a 7-month ban for breaching the betting rules. Striker Gianluca Samacca, who was dropped from Italy's friendlies in March against Venezuela and Ecuador, is also selected after winning the Europa League with Atalanta on Wednesday, thanks to Ademola Lookman's hat-trick. Away from the countdown now, let's talk about what we're going down this weekend. It is more of a focus for Erik ten Hag. Remember this man, maybe a lot of people already saying, if Mauricio Pochettino could be told to leave or he could leave Chelsea, then why is Ten Hag still staying? Well, Manchester City, Manchester United battling each other in the FA Cup final. However, Ten Hag is focusing on winning the FA Cup.
It's all about trophies, and we have a huge opportunity to win a trophy. So last 10 years, not so many trophies in this club, but we have an opportunity to win 2 trophies in 2 years. FA Cup final is a big event, and we are there. And even in the season, what's not in our way, well, we are there and we have an opportunity, and it's never be easy, but we have to go for it, and we will go for it, and we have to believe it, as we did last season, and as we know often against good opponents. We play our best football, and I expect to do this the same on Saturday.
Speaking, the Barco final also going down in Germany, and that is going to be Bayer Leverkusen against Kaiserslautern. Grand Xhaka is saying it's not about the unbeaten run now. Let's talk about the defeat against Atalanta in the Europa League final, and let's go to this final and get this one done.
Listen, we are honest. Everyone is speaking about this unbeaten games. We don't care about these unbeaten games. It's not about unbeaten. Even today, it was not to stay unbeaten. We know what we did until today. Great work, great effort for everyone. Every 3 days to play on this level needs a lot of respect to everyone. And I said it before. This is part of the game, part of the football. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. We have to accept that Atalanta was a better team today, and that's it. Keep going, heads up, and looking forward.
Now let's move to the other side of the show, where we look at headlines on the pages of Nigerian newspapers. Hey, well, on Saturday, we'll talk more, and we have a lot of giveaways, right? Looking at headlines on the pages of Nigerian newspapers, Victory Oyendikachi joins me on that side. My name is OLADAPO OKUNUBI. Do not go anywhere, because thank God it's Friday.
What's that to go? Lie on yourself. I'm the war. I'm the fight. I'm the battle. I got the powers. I got the powers. I'm about to release my powers. I'm about to release my powers. Yeah. Abito sheka, kanduka kandusa, levela mandi, palebo skendelebo. Abito sheka, dabus kaba, leva se fale, inda boski, pagose. Banu menu menu meji, banu menu menu meji, banu menu menu meji, banu menu menu meji. I got the power. I got the power. Citadel, Santos, Sanatorium, pandemic, epidemic, pandemonium, catastrophe, cataclysm. I'm a burning fire. I'm a burning fire. Yeah. Abito sheka, kanduka kandusa, levela mandi, palebo skendelebo. Abito sheka, dabus kaba, leva se fale, inda boski, pagose. Banu menu menu meji, banu menu menu meji, banu menu menu meji, banu menu menu meji. I got the power. I got the power. Power pass power. Power pass power. Power day. Power day.
Radio is all about information, education, and entertainment.
Maybe that's before now. Solutions 93.9 FM has raised the standard of radio broadcast to preferring solutions in all human angle. 939 FM, the remedy.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday and we're excited about the weekend. But it looks like there's a lot happening in Nigeria right now, particularly in Kano.
Kano State, yeah.
And our National Assembly as well. They've made the national anthem a priority at this moment. We'll get to talk about that as we officially kick off the last edition of From the Dailies this morning, as we look through the pages of Nigerian newspapers, get a perspective on the trending stories with analysis and feedback from you as well. My name is Victory Onyedikachi. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Victory. My name is OLADAPO, OKUNUBI. And, well, you mentioned some of the headlines and some of the stories that went down. And, you know, most especially that of the national anthem, and saying that, talking about the format.
Yes, the one abolished in 1978.
I feel, okay. Can even the people in the National Assembly, can they even recite the current one? And when you look at football, you look at some players who could not even, recite the national anthem. And I feel we are going through a lot than talking about the national anthem right now. We look at the economy. In the next few days, this administration will be 1 year in office. I was expecting more, but if it is about the national anthem, let us sing along. I've got with me The Nation and the Punch newspapers here this morning.
All right, I'll be taking stories from the Vanguard newspaper and the Nigerian Tribune. Be reminded that we're streaming live on Facebook as well as YouTube at Solutions 939 FM, so you could be a part of the conversation by joining us via these platforms. The phone lines will also be opened for you to call into the studio and react to stories that are of interest to you. Let's get right into the papers. All about information, education, and entertainment.
Maybe that's before now. Solutions 93.9 FM has raised the standard of radio broadcast to preferring solutions in all human angle. 939 FM, the remedy.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, this morning, let's start off with the Vanguard newspaper. Government-private sector clash over reform policies. Kano Emirates Sanusi returns as Emir 1,545 days after dethronement. PIA oil production hits 1.7 million barrels per day. Lekobri. Honora police now used to intimidate. Gag media action aid. Wafubi Under-17 Championships. Eaglets cruise into semi-finals, face baby elephants. These are the stories on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, so you are reading the good stories this morning, and Victory is not complaining. All right, now let's go straight to the Punch newspaper this Friday morning, and looking at the banner headline. Lagos-Calabar Highway, 750 houses for demolition as property owners allege poor compensation. Right after that headline says, Tinubu to flag off Project Sunday. Ministry to demolish buildings based on Gazette. Pocket headline coming from the Punch newspaper this morning. ASU protest, Tinubu orders review of varsity governing councils. And looking at the cap headline coming from the Punch newspaper this morning. Kano Emirate, Governor reinstates Sanusi after 4-year deposition as Assembly sacks emirs. Right after that headline, Yusuf orders deposed emirs to vacate official residence palaces in 48 hours. So moving to today, that'll be 24 hours. The side headlines are coming from the Punch newspaper. IOC to invest $20 billion in Nigeria. FG. 50 firms may produce military weapons locally. Minister. 19.4 billion naira fraud. Sidika, brother, get 200 million naira bail. NNPC partners deploy electric vehicle charging stations. This and more you can get from the Punch newspaper.
Now over to the Nigerian Tribune paper. Reps pass bill to revert to old national anthem. Bill's case second reading at Senate. North Central APC stakeholders insist on Ganduje's removal. Protests rock National Secretariat. I will contest presidency as long as my health permits. Atiku speaking there. Kano awaits Emir Sanusi as government disposes Bayero orders. 4 former emirs given 48 hours to hand over instruments of office. Why we reinstated Sanusi, Governor Yusuf. I did my best for Kanu, Ganduje. These are riders to that major headline on the Tribune paper. Tribunal to deliver judgment in Ododo, Ajaka governorship election dispute on Monday. Binance executive slums in court during trial. Tinubu directs tertiary institutions governing council boards review. Today is the 24th of May. That officially opens the portal for students' loan. Just in case you intend to get a loan, you can check the portal. The website is now available and accessible to Nigerians. CCB set to probe 3 former governors, 9 ex-ministers. Senate revisits Jonathan's report, probe 11,886 abandoned projects. Reps move to avert nationwide strike of a new national minimum wage crisis. These are the stories on the front page of the Tribune paper.
All right, going straight to the Nation newspaper this morning and looking at some of these headlines. Muhammadu Sanusi reinstated as Kano Emir. 5 emirs are fired. Injunction stops return. Oh, this one is deeper. Nuns, nows, Napton, others hail student loan. Rider says a scramble for slots begins as portal opens. Okay, so we get reaction concerning that. Tinubu orders review of institutions governing board. Ajaka versus Ododo judgment for Monday. Ministerial stewardship by Badar Wike Alake others. You can look at the rider. Military neutralized 9,303 terrorists. Free 2 months train ride in FCT. Wow. Mining generated 16 billion naira. So everybody showing their stewardship report. Alleged 5.8 billion naira fraud. Court fixes May 28th for Sirika's brother's trial. This and more you can get from the Nation newspaper this morning. All right, now going straight to Kano State this morning, where there is more, action and drama. Yesterday, remember, it started from the State House of Assembly, where there were different decisions taken. And later, the report got to the table of the governor of the state, Abba Yusuf, where he ordered reinstatement of Muhammadu Sanusi II, reinstating him to be the emir of Kano State 4 years after it got sent out by the former governor of the state. But here is the announcement coming from Governor Abba Yusuf, and after that we'll be getting in touch with our comrade Adeji Adeshope for his full analysis on these stories.
Guided by the provisions of the Kano State Chiefs and Emirs Appointment and Deposition Law 1984, and the Kano State Emirate Council Referral Law 2024, with full support of the kingmakers, I have approved the reappointment of Malam Sunusi Lami Amin, popularly known as Muhammadu Sunusi II, as the new Emir of Kano. May I announce that the 5 former emirs affected by the Kano Emirates Referral Law 2024 are given 48 hours from this hour to vacate official residences, palaces, offices, and equally hand over all properties of the former emirates to the Honorable Commissioner for Local Governments and Chieftaincy Affairs.
All right, so Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State making the announcement yesterday. So a lot of reactions coming. They had to put some emirates, separating them, I think, into 5. So now they had to now bring all the emirates together, firing those emirs. So, but I'm seeing more of politics going into tradition or abolishing tradition. Are we not going to see a situation where if Abba Yusuf maybe ends his tenure, another governor that comes into Kano State may take another decision? Comrade Aiden Jadishakwa, thank God it's Friday. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank God it's Friday, my dear comrade brother.
So let's start from Kano this morning. It was more of celebration, while in some quarters it was more of tears and abolishing. But if we look at what happened yesterday and the pronouncement from Abba Yusuf following the decision from the State House of Assembly, what does that portray concerning tradition and politics?
You see, politicians are what kind of a people, and they will continue to be who they are. There are many dimensions to the issue in Kano. To some, what the governor is doing is correcting a distortion in itself that was triggered by politicking. Because Sanusi Lamido Sanusi was removed, the 13th Emir of Kano was removed from office due to political reasons. Of course, he is a friend of Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso, who is the mentor and leader of the current governor. But talking historically, what Ganduje did way back is a clear distortion of history. Kano is one, and dividing it up into 5 emirates, making chiefs to become emir. And it was a complete distortion of history in itself. But now, the consequence of the reversal of that decision is the fact that we are demeaning. Yes, it's a restoration, but this back and forth and inconsistency is a demeaning of our processes. Therefore, all things are based on whims and caprices, no clearly set rules and of engagement. So you never know what can happen. Just like you said, another government might come and reverse. And but what are the lessons? There's no doubt that Sanusi Lamido Sanusi is popular in Kano. He's popular because he speaks on the side of the people. Not just the people of Kano, but the entire poor Talakawas of Kano. Ganduje committed an error of judgment. Sanusi Lamido was not talking about Ganduje alone. He was talking about government generally. He had been talking since the days of Jonathan. He was removed from office as central bank governor because he kept talking. You understand? He kept talking. And that is just the nature of the man. He speaks truth to power And he spoke truth to the presidential candidates way back. He said anybody that is saying that the journey is going to be smooth and all of that, that presidential candidate is lying. And he has been in support of some of the actions of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And let me tell you, if he disagrees with them, Sanusi Lamido will say it. And you will recall that when he was removed from office, and if you say Kaduna about a year ago, somebody introduced him as the former emir of Kano. He was leaving and kept saying that he was not a former emir and he was the 13th emir of Kano. Those words have come to life today in Kano. But you know, a federal high court in Abuja has granted a stay of, a restraining order on Kano State government.
But that wasn't followed. Even the time when Sanusi was removed, there was an order as well, and it wasn't adhered to. So it speaks to the rule of law in the country.
The order will not be serviceable today. And the High Court judge that granted that order is purportedly, allegedly, to be in the United States. I don't know whether you grant orders by proxy from the United States. So, and that is a disconnect in our judicial system. This is an issue local to Kano. How do you go to a federal high court to get an order about a local issue? When they are saying restructuring in Nigeria, people think it is political restructuring. It is deeper than that. The restructuring that people are doing, I don't like that phrase. I do not like the word anymore because it has been bastardized. People are using it for political end. And it is way deeper than political. How does something local to Kano occur? And then somebody runs to federal high court to obtain an order. And then the other party gets an order, a counter order. You will see Kano State government will either ignore it or get an order, countering, that. All these things, that is how our polity is convoluted, honestly. So I say good luck to Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. He will certainly be in Kano today or tomorrow if they want to make it. Look, fact is that this is politics of 2027. The moment Ganduje was not nominated as a minister, I knew his days were numbered. More so, he was made chairman of the party. Chairmen of political parties in Nigeria are like expendable bullets. And calculation for 2027 has commenced. Who is the power broker? Who is the point man in Kano? It is Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso. It is patently clear. The second time that Ganduje won in Kano, you will recall that it was a messy affair, that they actually had to arrange a supplementary election for him to win. And look at what happened in the elections in 2023. So it's about, and you see, our president is a master strategist. He's a master strategist. He's a master of the game. So they will get rid of Ganduje, and Rabiu Musa Kwankwanso will decamp to APC.
All right.
And then Ganduje will fade into oblivion.
Speaking of lessons, I for one think that our traditional institution has been desecrated and is about, ever since it became politicized, and I think it's about time that our traditional rulers really take it upon themselves to uphold the sacredness of our traditional institutions. Because, this whole situation reminded me of what happened with ex-president Olusegun Obasanjo with our traditional rulers, as well as Nyesom Wike, and we've seen how traditional institutions have been denigrated in this country by politics as a result of their involvements with politicians. But because of our time, let's move away to something very interesting that we saw in the papers this morning, which is the National Assembly making the change or the readoption of the old national anthem as a priority In a country where we're bedeviled with so many crises, from economic crisis to kidnapping, insecurity, there's no food in the land. But what is more important is readoption of the abolished 1978 national anthem right now. And the person who is sponsoring the bill in the National Assembly, I was listening to a sister radio station in Lagos, and his constituency apparently have bad roads, but that is not priority. National anthem is what we should focus on. And I took the liberty to go through the national anthem, the old national anthem, and I'm just wondering, you know, it doesn't stand a chance to what we have right now. The new national anthem, or what we use right now, it does not stand a chance when it comes to the lyrical prowess of that anthem.
You see, when you say the issue of national anthem is one of the least of our problems, I agree with you to a large extent, but I would, as a student of history and political science, tell you that the issue of identity is critical. The issue of identity is critical. If you are confused about who you are, how do you locate yourself in a space when you are even confused about your identity? Professor Julius Ihonvere was my lecturer in the University of Ife, in the Faculty of Administration, University of Ife. He has been around for quite a while. You see, when I first saw it, I was a little bit amused. But when you look at the current anthem, the lyrics, and the old anthem, Nigeria will hail thee, our own dear native land. No tongue and tribe may differ. In brotherhood we stand.
Comrade, I'm sure you know that anthem to the letter. I don't even know how it sounds. Perhaps one of these days you get to teach us how they sing that anthem. But I'm really concerned because I'm sure that most members of the National Assembly might not be able to sing both the old and new anthem. I'm just saying that you may have a point in what you're saying, that identity crisis might be a challenge for us as a people. However, at the time that we're in, should this be something that should be of utmost priority? We have a lot that we're dealing with right now. Should this be something that should be focused on? I think that's the concern of Nigerians, not necessarily because the anthem may not be good or not.
Professor Julius Ihonvere cannot be dismissed as as someone that lacks depth. He has been SSG, he has been commissioner in Edo State, he has been a professor of international relations since the 86, 87 or thereabout. I've known him since 79. Now, you cannot equate that person to be flippant or lacking in depth, orientation, and seriousness. Look, I'm sure he didn't introduce it just like that. It will go to the Senate. It requires concurrence. And I have discovered something about, I'm not particularly interested in the issue of anthem. I've discovered something about our new anthem. There are many versions of it. Many versions of it. I have never seen any country where there are versions of its national anthem. There is a martial version that without they will use military drums. Why do we have martial music in our anthem? That is military hangover. It is only very few institutions that use the correct one. I was waiting during the inauguration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu whether they were going to use the correct one. Federal Radio Corporation used the correct and original one. Thankfully, during Bola Ahmed Tinubu's inauguration, they used the original version. So, all these things should be corrected. We have one national plate that runs like how many stanzas? Check out the inauguration of our president. You see, American president will raise his hand, and in less than 1 minute, he was done with the oath of office. Less than 1 minute. Go and watch it. In Nigeria, there is oath of office. Then there is one lengthy, winding oath of allegiance. Absolutely. You take only oath of office. You don't take oath of allegiance. It's all this nonsense, I call them, were introduced by Olusegun Obasanjo. Where has it taken us? We do the pledge. The two, I pledge to Nigeria, my country. Those are mere mouthing of things. What are the values that we hold? You understand? So all these things to run deeper, it will require a concurrence. Iwondere has been around for quite a long time in the House of Rep and in governance and in political space and interaction. He will have sought concurrence. Before venturing out. And you see how they are maneuvering? They are maneuvering strategically. But of course, if you want to do that, it will require some concurrence from certain levels. So let us see how it pans out. And I'm sure that certainly when they adopt it, they will still do some amendments to it, or they will just adopt it wholesale.
Okay. All right, comrade. Now let's go straight. We have like less than 5 minutes to wrap this up, but let's talk about the ministerial stewardship and the reports coming from some of the ministers, Badaru, Wike, Alake, and others, and saying mining generated 16 billion naira. Is it really reflecting in Nigeria? 1, 2. Military neutralizing 9,303 terrorists, and well, we hear some Wike saying that there will be free 2 months train ride in FCT. With all the reports you're getting, and with what Sanusi Lamido also said yesterday, I hope you also heard him while he was in River State. At that time, he never even knew the decision that will be taken in Kano State, although some said that maybe would have been hinted. Are you okay with some of the reports coming from the ministers, or they're just being overhyped? Are we seeing a true reflection of what we are seeing here?
You see, whatever the ministers like, let them say, let them reel out. You understand? Let them hype, let them overhype. Nigerians are not interested in that. Nigerians are just interested in impact. Okay, all your claims, we have made 16 billion. When people talk about a solid mineral, it is solid mineral space is virtually non-existent. Somebody sits in Abuja and gives out the license for exploration in Kano State, in Sokoto State, in Zamfara, in Delta, in Yeno. We are deceiving ourselves. We will never go past a nation and people with the current configuration. I would rather call it configuration than structure that we're operating. 16 billion naira. That is all. Every nook and cranny of Nigeria, even Sokoto, Zamfara alone, they will do 3 times of that annually in revenue from what they have under the ground. What is the framework? It is not moving. What is the framework? And the security people, well, I do hope and I want to believe that the security situation has improved in the past few weeks and months. I think that is reasonable and safe enough to say. Do you see how they are mixing them up? I knew they will mix them up in a way that they will have to. The day they will bring power, they will bring another 2 ministries that will cover up for him, so that it is those ministries that they will project, positively. They know now it is arranging now.
Okay, but now, before we wrap up, with all the ministerial reports we are getting and saying that the celebrations will be on a low key, are you expecting ministers to be changed or to be fired? Because remember what Mr. President said when he had a retreat with the ministers months back, saying that if you are not ready to serve or if you are not working up to standard, you will have to excuse us. Can we talk about this in 2 minutes?
Let me tell you, when you change a team, you understand, they take political decisions. If you want a decision taken, you instruct the minister. Look, you want to change the ministers. What instructions, what mandate did each individual minister get? He didn't get no mandate. He didn't give any marching orders, specific marching orders and mandate to each ministry. You did not. So what evaluation are you doing? What will be the basis of the evaluation? When you're saying you're evaluating somebody, you only evaluate somebody, I have taught you this, I have taught you that. Exams are conducted based on what is taught. And that is the skill syllabus. So what is the syllabus that they gave them, so to say? to execute. You didn't give them any mandate. So what evaluation are you carrying out? Look, we're deceiving ourselves. 47 ministers. Who does that? 47 ministers. What are they ministering onto? What are they ministering onto? It is irresponsible of us to have 47 ministers. Maximum. They say each state must have a minister. I don't know where that comes from. They should just reduce it to 2 ministers from each geopolitical zone. You understand? 2 ministers from each geopolitical zone and 1 from Federal Capital Territory. Or maximum 3 ministers from each geopolitical zone. That will make 18 and 1 from the Federal Capital Territory. 18 ministers. Let them create ministries, departments, and agencies. Have you heard anything about the Orosoye report again? The president gave the committee 6 weeks. Have you heard anything? We haven't heard anything. Even after that Orosoye report was done, hundreds of agencies had been created after that. So, and even as we speak, we're having changing of names and nomenclature of ministries and departments and agencies. Look, let us march forward.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait on May the 29th to hear the post-mortem of this current administration, what they've achieved and what they intend to do, moving forward. But
Nigerians are only interested in impact.
Let's see how that pans out. I remember you telling me that you cannot wait to apply for your PhD with the student loan. I'm sure you're aware that the portal is open. So when are you looking to get your own loan?
In the dead of the night, when the traffic is slow, I'll do that.
Comrade, we'll talk again on Monday. We also hope that there won't be crashing of the site and negative reactions. But this
will be a disaster. That will portend danger.
And it's important that Nigerians, just a caveat, the site that you're clicking, so you don't go get yourself into debt by visiting fraudulent websites. Make sure that the official sites.
Trust them. They will be setting up their own site.
I'm telling you. So it's important.
You know how to identify the proper.
All right. All right, comrade, thank you very much, because we have to switch to the other side this morning and we talk about health. Thank you very much, and catch you next week.
You have a splendid weekend, and God bless us all.
God bless Nigeria.
God bless our union.
God bless Nigeria.
I do this for you, I do this for us. It heartbeat for you, baby, you have my trust. Yes, I'm in love, beautiful love. We mama love, blessing from above. What I say? Love is a beautiful thing when you have a great queen. Love is a wonderful thing when you have a great king. If you want anything, I'ma give you everything. You are my everything. So you deserve more than 10 diamond rings. I love the way you are. I love the way you are. My heart filled with tears the time I saw your face. Baby, I hope you remember the first time when we tell you Nakupenda. Yo, we mama tender. Baby, I just wanna see you dance. Dance for me. Baby, won't you dance for me? Dance for me.
Check us out right now. It is 10:07 from your Remedy Radio Dial Solutions 93.9 FM. Wilma by Pato Rankin. And we're doing this for the children. Remember, the next few days we'll be celebrating the Children's Day. And it is more to talk about their health this morning. Well, in the studio this morning, we have our guest this morning. That is Samuel Akinbeshote. Is the State Manager Institute of Human Virology or your state office. And this morning we'll be talking more about your health. Good morning, Mr. Samuel.
Good morning to you and good morning to the listeners at home.
I mean, it's good to have you here. This is your second time coming to Solutions Nigeria. Okay, so if you want to see Mr. Sam Akingbeshe this morning, you can jump on our Facebook fan page, Solutions 939 FM. Solutions 939 FM, and if you have questions, bothering you and your child as well, we'll talk about that on the program.
All right, good morning to you, sir, once again. Like my colleague that were rightly mentioned, on Monday will be Children's Day celebration. And the major concern health-wise for kids will be tuberculosis. And I'd like for us to begin with that and start addressing it. I believe that most parents are already aware of, because it's become a mantra, thank God to the different awareness platforms that have been created. Once your child continues to cough above 2 weeks, then you really want to pay attention to that is TB. But other than that, what more should parents become very intentional as it concerns TB and their children?
All right, so thank you very much. And I like the angle that you started from, and it's obvious, for the Children's Day, it would be nice to focus more on issue related to tuberculosis, which to us, from the WHO Global TB report of 2023, children were, I think they accounted for almost 12% of the estimated body. 10.6 million people came down with tuberculosis. So children were like 1.3 million from the 10.6 million people. And there's this belief that adults are they are the major people involved or affected by tuberculosis, but children, in the real sense of it, they bear the aftermath effect of tuberculosis, because in the real sense of it, it's difficult for them to tell you what is going on, and it's also difficult for them, even for the parents, if care is not taken, to think this could be tuberculosis, except when it gets to the later part. So just like you said, we always want to start with the issue of cough of 2 weeks or more, but TB in children is, in terms of symptoms, it's not always specific. Specific in the sense that, unlike adults, that you'll be looking at cough of 2 weeks duration, weight loss, and the rest. But for them, the presentation will come in diverse manner, and though we always talk about cough of 2 weeks, but we also pay attention on the fact that, yes, any child that is not growing well, not developing as is expected, then we should take tuberculosis. If a child has, is losing weight or has refused to gain weight, in quotes now, it's not adding weight, and despite the fact that, yes, it's being fed adequately, I will put the word adequately now, and if we're not getting results, we should think this could be tuberculosis. And if a child is having fever that is beyond 2 weeks duration, and as the child has been managed, or let's say the clinicians or the healthcare providers, they've ruled out malaria and some of these other childhood illnesses, and they cannot really pinpoint to any of those illnesses, then they should think it will be tuberculosis. And to us, because of the fact that, yes, Nigeria is still one of the countries with high burden that has high burden in terms of tuberculosis, and meaning that you expect that, yes, for the age group of less than 14 years, that they are also at risk of coming down with tuberculosis, in as much as they come in contact with any adults that is not on treatment, or possibly is on treatment but has possibly decided to interrupt such. So they are the risk of contacting the infectious disease, that is the agent, which we call Mycobacterium tuberculosis, as a responsible agent for tuberculosis. So because they are at risk, we also look towards the age of 0 to 5 as well too. Just let me say less than 5 years, because the immune system is just developing. So it's pretty easy for them to,
they are more susceptible.
Yes, to get once they are exposed to get infected with that organism. And to us, the burden of tuberculosis in less than 14 is more in that age group of 0 to 5, because the immune system is just developed, just like I earlier explained. So, and we believe, yes, we always look for available opportunities, strategies, and leveraging on whatever platform that we think, yes, we can reach this particular age group to ensure that, yes, they are quickly attended to, possibly they are screened, and if they have tuberculosis, it would be nice to urgently place them on treatment. And to us, it's not about just placing them on treatment, to do what we call reverse contact investigation, because once you see a child or you have a child with tuberculosis, then we rest assured that there's an adult around that possibly must have infected that child. So to us, a day like this is not just for identifying tuberculosis in that age group, but it's also another opportunity to trace out those adults too, that could serve as the source, of the infection to that age group.
I mean, we have a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions still coming in this morning, most especially what school teachers should do. Because most times we talk about the parents. And, schools will always say, oh, admission this, there's admission here and there. What they should put in place to make sure that there's no spread of TB in schools. We'll go on a break, and when we come back, we'll talk more. Do not go anywhere. Still AM updates live on Solutions on your 3.9 FM. We're talking TB and children. Do not go anywhere.
Every day when my children return from school, I don't recognize them. Hello, do I know you?
It's us, mommy.
But these little sweaty uniforms and socks, we clean in the morning. Everything don't transform. I understand though, school is hectic. It takes energy to come home this transform. So I make sure they have some nutritious meal at breakfast.
Your kids need nourishing energy. Give them the new and improved Milo at breakfast. It has nutrients that support energy release to help them get the most out of their day. Milo, energy to go further. Milo!
My love for our food. Ibikíbi tó àṣà wọn bá wà pẹ̀lú ẹ. Ìwọ ló ló ní pàdé FCMB wà fún ẹ. Ìwọ ló ló ní ọ̀yẹ́ láti dájú lọ́nà ọ̀wọ́ máa ṣọlẹ̀. Pẹ̀lú FCMB, ìwọ ló ló ní ọ̀yẹ́ láti dájú lọ́wọ́ máa ṣọlẹ̀.
FCMB, èmi àṣùpákì mi.
Johnson A Nigeria Enterprises oríṣiríṣi àràǹbádà fọ́níṣọ̀ láti kó wọlé bíbà látòkè òkun àtàwọn tá à ń ṣe ńlẹ̀ yìí nílé ìtajà wa constable bed complete set dining set kitchen cabinet interior decorations office furnitures wà lóríṣiríṣi lọ́wọ́ tí ọ̀gá jara lọ. Ẹ kàn sí wọn lónìí ọdún ilé ìtajà Johnson A Nigeria Enterprises wà ní shop number AA 18-20 railway shopping complex off Alashiloya Market Ìbàdàn. Ẹ̀ka wá wà ní shop number AA 11 railway shopping complex Alábọ́sẹ̀
I shall not say this, that's how you just learn everything for yourself, because there's new building. For them to come out.
Why they come out? Why they come out?
You should have stayed there. That's the thing, because this is where they are more functional. I just knew that it was going to be challenging.
No, they don't give.
Látọjọ́ tí mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní rẹ̀ electronics nílé iṣẹ́ Ọlábàmíjì Ventures ẹni mo ti bọ́ lọ́wọ́ àdáwọ́ gbogbo wa sórí àwọn electronics ìwọ náà yẹ kó lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì kọ́yé tẹ́lẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹsẹ̀ electronics ìfọ̀ ibẹ̀ ló ti rí àwọn tẹlifíṣọ̀n lóríṣiríṣi fridge àti freezer air conditioner àti gbogbo àwọn èlò
ìlú. It's always a challenge. Now you won't even call their attention. You got to talk about air.
Ọlábàmíjì Ventures ilé tẹ́kọ̀ supply gbogbo àwọn.
Guess even better, even Aladdin.
ojúlówó ní tiwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ la tún ṣe installation á tún fún yín ní guarantee lórí àwọn nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ bá rà lọ́dọ̀ wa olùléeṣẹ́ ọlábẹ́mi kí mọ̀sí ventures wà nọ́mbà 35 ọba adébíyìnpérò first gbági market ìbàdàn showroom wọn wà ní nọ́mbà 10 sapo building ládojúkọ union bank lebanon street nìbàdàn branch office wà ní nọ́mbà 3 gbàdámọ́sí complex ìwòrò nìbàdàn 0803 325 0185 àti 0805 779 0041 kíbẹ̀ confam làwọn nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ bá rà lọ́dọ̀ wa.
News, sports, entertainment, top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Mr. Samuel, I can't be shot.
That dial.
That's on will kill you. Just say Mr. Samuel. Ready? Let's go.
Alright, you're still listening to the Remedy Dial Solutions 93.9. We're talking about TB and children as we look forward to May the 27th to commemorate the Children's Day. We have in the studio Mr. Samuel Akingbeshota, State Manager Institution or Institute of Human Virology, or your state. Well, glad you're still here with us, sir. Alright, the goal is to end TB by 2030, I believe. That's the ultimate goal, to end TB by 2030. But there are lots of deterrents, in achieving that goal. So we want to make sure that everybody who has a role to play does that. And we're coming down to schools. What are the responsibilities of teachers, when they discover that a child is down with TB? Because I think a major setback is also the stigmatization that comes with TB. So what are their roles in this regard?
Yeah, so thank you very much. And just like you said, if you look at the Sustainable Development Goal, 2030 is what we're looking at, and to engage virtually all stakeholders, critical stakeholders, to ensure that, yes, we identify people with tuberculosis, either adult or less than 14 years or less than 15 years. So not just the teachers, the school as a whole, starting with the management of the school. We expect that, yes, as part of what they are supposed to do is to have a policy in the sense that, yes, school health policy, that we look at the health of pupils or students, coming to that school, and what they are supposed to do, who is in charge of a particular aspect of whatever policy or whatever task that the management will want to saddle with, and down to the place of how the rooms are also, or the classrooms, the nature of the construction, to ensure that, yes, they build into that system that where people can you have several, you have pupils gathering together, and there's need for you to consider the place of infection prevention control, so that people won't even if you have a TB, a child with tuberculosis, then people are also the colleagues, they are in a way, they are protected because of the nature of your building. Talking about environmental control in a way, if there's a way you can just put that in place, but where it is not, you cannot really do that, then there should be a focal person as well, too, that from time to time we speak with the classroom teachers to tell them the signs and symptoms of tuberculosis, and if they notice a child that possibly has been coughing for more than 2 weeks. In fact, to us, we want to advise that when you see a child that is coughing, the next thing is to quickly just draw the attention of the management, so that they can also get in touch with the parents. At times, some parents could be funny just because they are busy and nobody to stay with the child at home. They push them to school. Please go to school. And if you observe such, quickly alert the management, so that they can also get in touch with necessary or appropriate authority. Yes, each school is supposed to be, you should have a sick bay, and where you don't have a sick bay, you should be attached to a particular facility, whether government or private, so that they should also be aware that as part of our routine is that we look out for children who possibly have been coughing, and just want to rule out the fact that it's not tuberculosis. And to me, one other thing is which I believe the school authorities should start looking at is the fact that, especially for those who are less than 5 years, we should start looking at the growth chart now, the development chart of some of these children. So that when they come to school, you want to be sure that, okay, is this child really growing? Is he adding weight? Or what will be responsible, so that you can quickly also alert the parents. It's not about just the academic aspect of it. It's the total well-being of
the child
that should be the priority of any school. And to us, it's not just the pupil alone too. For us, we also look out after the teachers as well, so that they won't even be the source infecting the children, the pupil. So the management should have in place some of these policies that will look into not just the students alone, but also the teachers, so that we know, yes, it's a win-win thing. As we're also looking after the teacher, we're also looking after, as we're looking after the children, we're also looking after the teachers, so that they don't serve as the source of TB infection to these children.
Fair enough. Now, if you get some schools, you see from the entrance, you see all this A, B, C, D, E, F, with the A for elephant. Sorry, I said A for elephant. A for apple, B for ball. What kind of design should be done in making sure that even these kids as well, maybe when they notice their colleagues as well coughing, don't you think it's also advisable that they should put some graphics designs for the kids to also learn?
Yeah, I think you are right, and it should be. I think it should be the next thing to do. Moving forward. To us, even we believe for that particular age group, they get involved based on what they see, and to me, there is nothing wrong if you get to see after your cat. You also have a form of graphic, demonstrating that, yes, when people that see it's also for cough, you see people also, so that they know that, yes, whenever you see someone with this type of you see this graphic that depicts this type of scenario, then you should be able to quickly alert people that, yes, this person is coughing, and if you see your friend as well too. And one thing that the Ministry of Health and the implementing partner supporting the Nigerian government, one thing they are looking at is to have child-friendly, what we call education material, that that the children we buy into, and we also get involved as well. So we're just hoping that by the time we have enough of this in, we'll be able to also flood most facilities or schools where we have children congregating. The plan is to focus on where children congregate with some of these graphic materials, and we just hope to be able to do that as soon as possible.
I think that would be a very keen way of educating the children about TB, but I'm also worried about the approach, because children can be funny. So when you say they know this and they start pointing at that kid probably has a TB, it leads to stigmatization. So we need to be very circumspect about that. But briefly, just in 1 minute, let's talk about prevention and control and treatment as well. I'm meant to understand that TB treatment is free and accessible. So just give us an update on that. And finally, I heard there's an emergency line people can call. Let's talk about that just briefly in 1 minute because of our time.
All right. So for like you said, TB is a curable disease. It's also preventable. In terms of curative services, yes, in all your states, and let me say, virtually in Nigeria, you have centers where people can always go to access treatment. And if they don't, even if you get to a facility and they don't provide such, they know the next facility that they can link you up, refer you to, and they have specific individuals that we refer to as a local government supervisor for TB, for in the 774 local government areas in the country. Likewise, the 3 local government in your state. You have a focal person that we can always link up with that will refer you to the nearest facility that you can access treatment. And in terms of TB prevention, we have preventive services that we advise both adults and children who are contact of individuals with tuberculosis to receive. So we encourage people that this is a form of preventive services that won't make people come down with tuberculosis once they come in contact or their household contact or close contact of someone with tuberculosis. And for more information, we can always dial our toll-free line 3340 3340. So it's a toll-free line for people to get more information and for further reference for TB services.
All right, you just got all the details this morning, and we'd like to say a very big thank you to you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, we'll wrap up the show on AM Updates Mixer return next week, Monday, 9 o'clock till 10:30, and also till 10:05. Then we go to Solutions Clinic where we'll talk more health. My name is OLADAPO OKUNUBI.
My name is Victory Onyedikachi. Have yourself a swell weekend. Good morning to you.
Really nice. I think you are